Thailand's Social Security Office is a public entity that takes money deducted from people's monthly salaries to ensure their access to healthcare and social welfare, but it has become the subject of public scrutiny. A lot of money from its Social Security Fund is being splurged on questionable investments, sparking public uproar. The immediate reform of the Social Security Fund has eventually been included among the election pledges of many parties ahead of the general election. The main crusader who brought this to light was none other than People's Party MP Rakchanok Seenok, who has openly criticized the Social Security Office on several occasions, accusing it of poor management and irregularities.
ไม่ได้โจมตีนี่คือข้อเท็จจริงที่เราต้องเอามาตีแผ่ให้ผู้ประกันตนได้ฟังได้รู้ท่านจะได้รู้ว่าเขาทำอะไรกับเงินท่านตลอด30 ปีที่ผ่านมาไม่มีใครเคยบอกท่านว่าเขาเอาเงินของท่านไปทำอะไรแต่วันนี้เราจะทำทุกวิถีทางที่ทำให้เห็บหมัดที่กัดกินกองทุนประกันสังคมมัน
The People's Party has questioned several of the decisions made by the Social Security Office, particularly on expenditure from the Social Security Fund, the most notorious being the purchase of the Sky9 Center office building for 7 billion baht. The People's Party MP claims that the purchase price was excessive given the low occupancy rate, and suspects that officials and former politicians linked to the Labor Ministry may have siphoned money off from the fund through such projects. Another is the 800 million baht investment in real estate funding for Thammasat University's TU Dome residential complex, the project for which remains dormant. Other questionable investments include the renovation of the Labor Ministry's cafeteria, an overhaul of its IT system and the SSO Plus app only to crash on its launch, the excessive production of SSO calendars, and the production of 7,000 uniforms for staff members. Not to mention the luxury overseas trips for members of the SSO's management disguised as study trips worth 10 million baht. In light of the public outcry, the SSO has defended its spending, stating that it has been in accordance with its usual procedures. Yet this explanation did not live up to people's expectations.
กระบวนการในการที่เราใช้งบเนี่ยเราก็ต้องผ่านกระบวนการตามระเบียบข้อปฏิบัติผ่านบอร์ดของประกันสังคมทุกขั้นตอนตลอดทุกขั้นตอนไม่ว่าในเรื่องของการจัดซื้อในเรื่องการของเงินทุกอย่างตามลำดับขั้นตอนของสำนักงานประกันสังคมค่ะ
Officials and employer representatives have also come forward to defend the SSF's management, asserting that the fund is well run. They point to the fund's portfolio return on investment of 6.1%, amounting to 80 billion baht last year. Critics have challenged these claims, arguing that the actual return is only 2 to 3% of the fund's size, a rate considered low and detrimental to the welfare of the 24 million insured employees who contribute to it. The public scrutiny of its management has resonated strongly among workers, particularly those disappointed by inadequate benefits and retirees receiving minimal pensions. In response, Labor Minister Trinut Tiantong has instructed the Labor Permanent Secretary to study options for reforming the Social Security system. Currently, the SSF is overseen by the Labor Ministry's Social Security Office. It is funded through contributions from 3 sources, namely insured employees, employers, and the government. As of January 1st, 2026, the maximum monthly contribution by employees was raised from 750 to 875 baht, with employers required to match this increase. Since its inception in 1990, the SSF has provided medical welfare for Thais, However, since the introduction of universal health coverage in 2002, widely known as the Gold Card scheme, this has led to concerns about overlapping contributions and inequities in benefit distribution. The biggest concern now is its governance, especially decision-making on how asset allocation is made.
คนที่ดูแลเงินอยู่เนี่ยเขาไม่ได้ริเริ่มที่จะแก้ปัญหานี้เพราะฉะนั้นมันก็เลยต้องเกิดจากข้างนอกในระดับที่สูงขึ้นนั่นก็คือต้องเป็นนโยบายของผู้กำกับนโยบายของผู้ออกนโยบายทางการเมืองนะคะนั่นก็คือการที่เราได้มีโอกาสที่จะมาลงคะแนนเลือกตั้งในครั้งนี้นะคะที่พรรคต่างๆเสนอนโยบายออกมาว่าจะให้มีการปฏิรูปประกันสังคมให้มีการออกนอกระบบให้มีการบริหารจัดการที่มีความโปร่งใสอันนี้ก็ถือว่าเป็นโอกาสของผู้ประกันตน
A study by TDRI and Khon-Kaen University pointed out that effective investment by the fund is vital for extending its longevity. Without significant improvements in management, the SSF could face deficits within 30 to 40 years of pension payouts, a scenario described as a ticking time bomb. In other words, Thailand's social security fund will be at risk of going bankrupt.